Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Tap. I play games. In today's video, we're playing no games. But Sony's been playing games, and it's been pissing me off, and we're going to talk about it. Now, I do not mean for this video to be coming off the heels of me doing an Xbox unboxing. PlayStation fanboy opens up his first Xbox, even though that's what's happening. And I'm sorry if this comes off like I've totally switched sides. I'm an Xbox fanboy now, because I'm not. But today's video, we're going to be talking about this PlayStation stuff that's been going on. I think I just spit right there. And it's been pretty disappointing from PlayStation, to say the least. So, without further ado, if you guys like the video, give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new here to TapPlaysGames. I'd be forever grateful for you for doing that. And let's get into it. So, I think this actually all starts back with the PlayStation 5's release. So, I got the PlayStation 5 on release. Now, I'm a bit of a hypocrite here because I have Demon Souls. I played it once and I've never gone back to it. Not because I didn't want to, I just haven't really had the time to really sink my teeth into it because I know it's a hard game and I need to prepare myself. Never played a Souls-like before, never played Souls, Bloodborne, anything like that. So it's a bit of a challenge for me, and it's going to take me like sinking my teeth into it. But right now I have Outer Worlds DLC I need to play, and I have Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales to play. So I'm eventually going to get into the Souls games, but basically PlayStation 5 released with like nothing to play. And the issue with that is that there's obviously PS4 backwards compatibility. You can go back and play your PS4 games, but there's not that level of Xbox backwards compatibility, that the Xbox has, where you can go back and play 360 games, go back and play original Xbox games. Now, with that being said, the library of backwards compatibility is not as big as I thought it would be when I got the console like a week ago. But I guess I could have just like looked it up and I didn't, so I guess that's my fault. But regardless, the point being is that PlayStation released with not that many games. I don't think there's a reason to have a PlayStation 5 right now. I really don't. I don't think the Spider-Man games or Demon Souls is worth a PlayStation 5. I will say Xbox Series X Game Pass is awesome. I'm already loving it. I've played Dirt 5, NBA 2K21. I downloaded Grounded. I think it's called Hunter Call of the Wild. Games that basically I would not have ever played. So essentially with Game Pass, if you download enough games, it's almost like the Xbox pays for itself. Because like even the PlayStation games, Madden, 2K, and MLB The Show, if I downloaded all those three for $70 a piece, that'd be $210. The 3 Xbox Live cards I got for $180 are going to get me 3 years of Xbox Live. Plus, I got Game Pass, which is just going to get absorbed into that cost basically for free because of like the little. It's not a scam. It's like a little thing you can take advantage of that Microsoft put into their service. So basically, like, if you download enough games on Game Pass, the console like pays for itself pretty much. It's kind of crazy. And then when you consider the PS3, PSP, PS Vita, that whole drama happened where they basically like said, "Oh yeah, in 2 months we're shutting all these down." Sorry. It's like, wow, really? Like 2-3 months. I think maybe PS Vita I think might be early August. So what? That's like kind of 4 months away. That's not a lot of time. And all these things have compiled, but I've kind of been holding out hope. Like, I do kind of, part of me thinks, well, yeah, Sony's going to do something to like inject some backwards compatibility into the console. Where's my PS1, PS2? Where are the PS3 games? Are you telling me that stupid PS3 with the cell processor or whatever, that I'm never going to be able to play any of those games ever again because like you made your special hardware and none of the other consoles can run it? Are you kidding me? Like, is Sony that dumb? Seems like they are. But the point is that we want backwards compatibility because at some point I'm not going to be able to put a PlayStation 1 game into my PlayStation 2 because either the disc ain't going to work or the PS2 is not going to work. At some point I'm not going to be able to put my PS1 game into the PS3 because either the disc isn't going to work or the console's not going to work anymore. We need to preserve these games, and Sony just does not want to do that. But I was and still am holding out hope, although it's waning quick, that Sony is going to alleviate this problem. Then, on top of that, this Jason Schreier article comes out a couple days ago, April 9th, actually yesterday, April 9th. And I was going to make a video yesterday, but I kind of came home from work and just passed out. But also, I wanted to I wanted to sleep on it. I wanted to think about it a bit. And we're going to go ahead and read the article. Actually, I'll link the article in the description. I want you guys to read it for yourself. I'm going to read the parts that are important and the parts that piss me off, and then we'll talk about it. Let's do it. So the article is titled, Sony's obsession with blockbusters is stirring unrest within the PlayStation empire. A small team had big ambitions for a Last of Us remake, but Sony handed the work to star studio Naughty Dog. Okay, so here we go. Sony's Corp's Visual Arts Service Group has long been the unsung hero of many hit PlayStation video games. The San Diego-based operation helps finish off games designed at other Sony-owned studios with animation, art, or other content and development. But about 3 years ago, a handful of influential figures within the Visual Arts Service Group decided they wanted to have more creative control and lead game direction rather than being supporting actors on popular titles such as Spider-Man and Uncharted. Michael Mumbauer, who took over direction of the Visual Arts Service Group in 2007, recruited a group of about 30 developers internally and from neighboring game studios to form a new development unit within Sony. The idea was to expand upon some of the company's most successful franchises, and the team began working on a remake of the 2013 hit The Last of Us for PlayStation 5. But Sony never fully acknowledged the team's existence or gave them the funding and support needed to succeed in the highly competitive video game market, according to people involved. The studio never even got its own name. Instead, Sony moved the ownership of The Last of Us remake to its original creator, Naughty Dog, a Sony-owned studio behind many of the company's best-selling games and an HBO television series in development. Deflated, the small group's leadership was largely disbanded, according to interviews with 8 people familiar with the operation. Many, including Mumbauer, have left the company entirely. Mumbauer declined to comment, and others have asked to not be named, discussing private information. Mumbauer declined to comment, and others asked to not be named, discussing private information. A representative for Sony declined to comment or provide interviews. The team's failure highlights the complex hierarchy of video game development and, in particular, Sony's cooperative approach to making games for the PS5. The Japanese conglomerate owns about a dozen studios across the world as part of its PlayStation Studios label, but in recent years it has prioritized games made by its most successful developers. Studios such as Santa Monica, California-based Naughty Dog, and Amsterdam-based Guerrilla Games spend tens of millions of dollars to make games with the expectation that the investments will pay off exponentially. And they usually do. Hits including 2018's God of War and 2020's Last of Us Part 2 are exclusive to PlayStation consoles, helping Sony sell some 114 million of the PS4. Rival Microsoft Corporation has taken the opposite approach, relying on a wide array of studios to feed its Netflix-like subscription service, Xbox Game Pass, which allows users to pay a monthly fee for unlimited access to a variety of games. Sony's focus on exclusive blockbusters has come at the expense of niche teams and studios within the PlayStation organization. Leading to high turnover and less choice for players, last week Sony reorganized a development office in Japan, resulting in mass departures of people who worked on less but well-known acclaimed games such as Gravity Rush and Everybody's Golf. The company has informed developers that it no longer wants to produce smaller games that are only successful in Japan, Bloomberg has reported. This fixation on teams that churn out hits is creating unrest across Sony's portfolio of game studios. Oregon-based Sony Bend, best known for the 2019 open-world action game Days Gone, tried unsuccessfully to pitch a sequel that year. According to people familiar with the proposal, although the first game had been profitable, its development had been lengthy and critical reception was mixed, so a Days Gone 2 wasn't seen as a viable option. Instead, one team at the studio was assigned to help Naughty Dog with a multiplayer game, while a second group was assigned to work on a new Uncharted game with supervision from Naughty Dog. Some staff, including top leads, were unhappy with this arrangement and left. Ben's developers fear that they might be absorbed into Naughty Dog, and the studio's leadership asked to be taken off the Uncharted project. They got their wish last month and are now working on a new game of their own that will be part of a brand new franchise. Alright, so now that we got to the Days Gone news, I'm just going to stop there and talk about everything that we've read. So basically, if you actually do more research, you'll find out that the San Diego-based company was actually going to do a remake of the first Uncharted game, and for whatever reason that fell through. So then they decided to pitch a Last of Us remake, and they were going to work on that until they weren't anymore. And then that was given to Naughty Dog. So I guess now Naughty Dog is remaking the original Last of Us, but my question is why? Why do we need that? I literally just played The Last of Us, I think last May, getting ready for The Last of Us Part 2, and it was fine. It totally held up. It played great. I almost would say, to a certain extent, it kind of ruined me playing The Last of Us 2 because The Last of Us 2's gameplay was so similar. I kind of felt like, if I would have just played The Last of Us Part 2, it wouldn't have felt so similar to The Last of Us Part 1. It would have been better. I felt like Last of Us Part 2 is very derivative of The Last of Us Part 1. I feel like they didn't do enough to make the game stand out gameplay-wise. But besides the point, so they're remaking The Last of Us. Why? It doesn't need a remake. They already remastered it. It does not need a remake. What are they gonna do? Get a new like actress to play Ellie, a new actor to play Joel? Like, why are we doing that? It does, to me. You wouldn't need a Last of Us remake for another 10 years, I would say. I don't get the point. I mean, that like when I read that, that was so out of left field for me because, I look at The Last of Us and I think, what's wrong with this game that it needs to be remade? I mean, with the remaster, the graphics aren't that bad, so what is it? It's crazy to me that that people actually, like, there's like not that many games to play on PlayStation, and I know that they're trying to probably just rush out a Last of Us, Last of Us remake because it's easy to do, but that's not the answer. I'm not. If like a Last of Us remake came out today, I'm not playing it. I don't need to play that. I played it twice. How many times am I gonna play the same story? I mean, I just don't. I don't have the interest. I mean, maybe if Last of Us remake came out now, would I buy it in the next 5 years and play it? Maybe, but not right now. Where's all the games that for PlayStation 5 at? So, does that mean they were gonna like basically bundle The Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2 and sell it to you the week that the TV show comes out? Probably, and it's like that would probably sell really well. Like TV shows coming out, people want to play the game. But as far as the show goes, and The Last of Us and the Last of Us Part 2 getting received pretty poorly, I'm just kind of over The Last of Us right now, and I just don't want more of it. Not that it's bad, it just kind of feels like too much of a good thing. Like, let it breathe, let it rest. We'll return to, The Last of Us isn't even 10 years old yet. That's what blows me away. Why are we remaking a game that's not even 10 years old? You're not even, it hasn't even given a chance to breathe. So, I don't understand that personally. I don't even get why we're doing The Last of Us remake. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the whole Days Gone debacle here. So, Days Gone is a game that I actually hated when I played it. I couldn't stand Days Gone. I don't know what it was. It felt very generic to me. It just didn't, for whatever reason, it didn't hook me. And it was pretty buggy when I go back and think about it. I remember like about 6 months after the game came out, I totally forgot about it. I was like, whatever, that game is garbage. Or, I just didn't even, whatever. Because I got like 2 days after the game came out. I was like pretty pumped for it. I remember the trailers were airing on TV. The trailers were pretty sick. And about this time last year, I think is when I returned to it. And like, I'd say in between that like almost a year where I didn't play it, about 6 months in, I was reading, Days Gone update. Like they fixed the game. And I'm thinking like, yeah, you know what? That game was pretty buggy. So then, like, time went by, whatever. And then I finally decided, I want to try to play Days Gone again. And I loved Days Gone. I mean, I do think to a certain extent things were kind of wrong with Days Gone. Like, the looting was kind of, like, very, just scratching the surface. It wasn't, like... There was things that could definitely be deeper about the game. There was parts of the game that felt pretty shallow. The story went on, like, I think way too long. I think they could have cut 10, 15 hours from the story. But the gameplay was a lot of fun. Like, the hordes, taking out all the hordes. I went and took out every horde in the game after I was done with the story, because it was just fun to me. Like, that was one of the games that I thought really did zombies correctly. I thought Red Dead Redemption and Nightmare did zombies good, and these zombies were different from those zombies. And I usually like slower zombies, aren't like running and jumping crazy Left 4 Dead type zombies. But those zombies they did the job, and I really enjoyed Days Gone at the end of the day. So much so that I'm kind of thinking about replaying it now that it has a 60 frames per second patch on the PS5. But I got tons of games to play, so I probably shouldn't play that. I should probably get through Spider-Man and Demon's Souls and all that first. But the point is, Bend Studio has basically been treated like garbage. Further into the article, they talk about how people from Bend left because they just don't want to sit around and make other people's games. And the people that were left that were working on the Uncharted game were feeling like they were going to be just absorbed into Naughty Dog. Like, come over here. Let's push you over here. You're Naughty Dog now. And they don't want that. They're people with pride that want to do their own thing. So now they've been taken off of the Uncharted because they asked to be taken off of the Uncharted project. And now they're working on their own project again, a new franchise. But how do we know that franchise is going to sell well? Days Gone sold well. It was a buggy mess, but it sold well. I mean, it was profitable. So I don't get the logic here by Sony at all. And I feel like if you're Microsoft, you're sitting back and you're laughing, like, what are these clowns doing? Because first of all, Sony's like bread and butter is Japan. Obviously, America is where they make all their money, but Sony needs to make sure Japan is like taken care of. That's still a huge market for them that Microsoft basically isn't a part of at all. But if Microsoft decides to go after the Japan market, Sony needs to watch out. And there's always been these rumors of, you know, them Microsoft buying Sega. I feel like I read that rumor like every other day on Twitter. But at the end of the day, Sony, I have no faith in them right now. And it sucks to say. I have very little faith. I mean, like I said, I'm kind of holding out hope. Backwards compatibility, yeah, maybe. I'm kind of holding out hope, yeah. I mean, you know, maybe they'll announce that they're going to do some sort of Game Pass type thing. Do I think they necessarily need that? Not really, because the PlayStation Plus collection is really good. It's not like the PlayStation Plus collection is garbage, but still, it feels to me like they need to do something. It feels like they're kind of resting on their laurels too much from PS4. And, you know, maybe it's just destined that every other generation, the other guy's going to win. I mean, PlayStation 2 destroyed, you know, I guess you could say PlayStation 1 destroyed like Nintendo 64 and Sega and all that back then. But then PS2 came out, destroyed Xbox sales-wise. PS3 came out, it was really rough to begin with, and also the PS3 outage. But at the end of the day, PS3 sold more than Xbox, so you can make the argument PS3 won that generation. But I think for the most part, everybody agrees Xbox 360 was kicking ass. But sales-wise, PS3 sold more consoles, but we'll give that one to Xbox. And then PS4 came out, and that destroyed the Xbox One, wasn't even close. Are we destined to just flip and flop and go back and forth forever? Is that what this is? Because it seems like PlayStation's really fumbling the bag. Ben Studio got shut down for a Days Gone 2, and that's disappointing to me. I was just assuming they were working on Days Gone 2, and I'm pretty disappointed that we're not going to get one, it seems like. And it's pretty sad to me, because I was really looking forward to Days Gone 2. Now that the company knows what they're doing more, they got more of an idea of what they want to make. You know, maybe it would look, you know, it'd be 60 frames per second. It would look phenomenal. There'd be more of a looting system, you know, maybe more of like like everything, but just up a couple notches for Days Gone, and it would have been amazing. Looks like we're not getting it. So that's it, guys. I think PlayStation is a dumpster fire right now, and not that it's totally terrible. Like, I'm probably being a little overdramatic, but PlayStation is making some dumb moves, and for them to just basically be like, yeah, no more small games, we only want blockbusters. That's like not the way to go, because as far as like the way I see PlayStation as almost being like for the little guy, Xbox is this big Microsoft corporation, like, you know, they're kind of generic. Their console just like a big box. Last generation's console is like a big VCR. It's like, oh yeah, Microsoft, they're not about the people. Sony feels more about the people to me. They have games that people can, you know, relate to more, and it's like really hard hitting narratives, and even they have like little games, you know, like and they feed the Japan market. But now it's like, every game's got to be Uncharted. Every game's got to be The Last of Us. Get your little games out of here. Go away. We don't need you. That's what it feels like Sony's doing right now, and it's not how it should be. Because the way it stands, like, Xbox is looking out for the little guy. If you buy an Xbox Series S and Game Pass, you are set. You can play so many games. If you have like an Xbox 360 or Xbox One, you're a casual gamer. If you just get Xbox Series S and Game Pass, you are set. You got so many games you can play. It is such a good deal. PlayStation, it's like, oh, you gotta be into playing The Last of Us Part 2. You gotta sit down and play like this 20-hour story that's like super dramatic, and you gotta be like down to be killing zombies all day. No, nothing fun, nothing, you know, lighthearted. Everything's gotta be the super dramatic third-person shooter. Why can't we just have small fun games? So anyways, that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hope I don't get too much hate from this video, because even though I don't really care, that's why I put that as my background. But I'm a PlayStation fan first and foremost. I always will be. This is just crazy to me that PlayStation just fumbling the ball this hard. So, anyways, if you guys like the video, give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new here to Tap Plays Games. I'm Tap, I play games. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you in the next video.